South Carolina Public Service Commission's transportation hearing, docket number 2021-62-T, application of Modern Day Movers LLC for a Class C household goods certificate, statewide authority. We'll call this hearing to order. Before I perform a roll call of commissioners attending this hearing, please pause with me for a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to start with District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Present virtually.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I'm present in the hearing room.
Commissioner Caston.
Present in the hearing room.
Commissioner Irvin.
Attending virtually due to COVID-19.
Commissioner Thomas.
Attending virtually from my office at home.
Commissioner Powers.
Present in the hearing room.
All right, Chairman Williams is present here in the hearing room. All right, Attorney, would you please read the docket?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning.
Good morning.
This proceeding before the Public Service Commission in docket number 2020-162-T concerns the application of Modern Day Movers LLC for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity for operation of a motor vehicle carrier. This hearing is scheduled for today, Wednesday, October 21st, 2020 at 10 a.m. We are holding this hearing virtually. There has been no objection and no intervention. Mr. Chairman and other commissioners, the docket is in order.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take appearances from the parties, please. Modern Day Movers, who do we have with us?
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Elizabeth Hyatt. I represent the company Modern Day Movers, and with me today I have the president of the company, Amy Matthews, as well as Vice President Hunter Matthews.
All right. ORS?
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Leslie Hammons with the Office of Regulatory Staff, and we have Mr. Thomas McGill, who is remote.
Okie dokie. Are there any preliminary matters that we need to take up before we proceed?
None from ORS.
Modern Day Movers?
None from us.
All right. Modern Day Movers, please call your first witness.
Thank you. I would like to move that the claimant's petition, application, as well as the amended application, be accepted into evidence, as well as the affidavits of the shipper witnesses as one document.
Okay. So that's the shipper witness affidavit. And what was the first one you said? Can you say that again?
The application and the amended application.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Modern Day Movers application, amended application, and shipper witness affidavit will be marked as a composite exhibit and entered into the record as.
Mr. Chairman, do we have the affidavits of shipper witnesses? I do not.
Give us 1 second.
Yeah, I've not seen these. Thank you.
All right, does everyone have what they need? Okay. So, going back to the items requested to be entered into evidence, we're going to mark the applicant's amended application and enter it into the recorder's hearing exhibit 1. Mark the applicant's original application and enter it into the recorder's as hearing exhibit 2. And we're going to mark the applicant's shipper witness affidavit as hearing exhibit 3 and enter it into the record.
Thank you, Chairman. I call Hunter Matthews to the stand.
All right, Mr. Matthews, please take the stand.
Thank you.
Mr. Matthews, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Matthews? Mr. Matthews, you are the Vice President of Modern Day Movers, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And this is a company that is registered with the Secretary of State?
Yes, it is.
Can you provide some details about your business experience in the delivery of household goods?
I've been around it with the Minuteman Movers for 17 years. It was a family deal. We're no longer associated. So my wife and I have gone out on our own to try to get our own company running, Modern Day Movers. Currently, we do a lot of work for the University of South Carolina, but I've been around the moving business and the managing and everything for 17 years.
Okay, and you and Day Movers already has a commercial license, is that right?
No, you can move commercially without a license.
Okay, but you've done household goods for 17 years with Minuteman Movers, is that right?
That's correct.
And are there any outstanding court orders or judgments against you personally or the company that you are seeking a certificate for?
No, there's not.
And have you ever been convicted of a felony or in South Carolina or any other state?
No.
Are you familiar with Carolina laws and regulations and rules governing the operation of interstate household good movers in South Carolina?
I am.
And you've actually followed those rules for 17 years, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you certified by any other state or federal agency to provide household good moving services?
No.
And if you're doing business now, you said that you work for the University of South Carolina, is that right?
Yes.
You have contracts with them?
We do have contracts with the University of South Carolina.
And what do you do for them?
We move a lot of the offices all around campus. Right now we're working on a 9-story office building that flooded. We've been having to pack, relocate all the furniture, relocate all of the professors. We've had to do storage. Now we are in the process of moving the furniture back into the facility.
Now you have received a quote from an insurance company to represent your Modern Day Movers, is that right?
Yes.
Have you provided that to the commission?
I have.
And who's that insurance company?
Progressive. It's Northern Progressive.
Northern Progressive. And you also have provided the commission with a bill of lading and a tariff, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you understand that you can only provide estimates to customers based on your filed tariff? You can't quote a fixed price?
That is correct.
How many employees does Modern Day Movers have currently?
We have 9.
And do you have any detailed plans to add additional employees?
In the future, right now, we are good with 9.
Okay. And how do you do training for your employees?
Well, we do on-site training. We also have, I've got a lot of officer. I've got trailers at my office that we have them practice unloading that trailer onto our truck with padding and putting it back as carefully as possible. And I do the on-site training as well, make sure everybody knows how to operate the hand trucks correctly and no dinging any walls or scratching any floors.
And have you been successful with that on-site, on-the-job training?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Now, you understand that what's the territory that you have requested authority?
Statewide in South Carolina.
Okay. And you understand if you wish to change that authority that you're asking for, that you must get that approved by the commission. Is that right?
That's correct.
Why do you feel like there is a need for services in the Lancaster area and statewide?
Well, generally where we are, the closest moving company is up in Indian Land, which is about 45 minutes away. And there's one around our area, Pageland, Lancaster, Jefferson, all that area. There's not a moving company that I'm aware of. And so really they need somebody out there to help the customer save on, drive time, et cetera.
And you have submitted the affidavits of 3 witnesses who are familiar with this area. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And who are those people?
There's Shannon Threet, Jaden Vick, and Andrew Broughton.
And are you asking the commission to consider their testimony as well?
I am.
Okay. Chairman, that's the only questions that I have for modern day movers. If there are any questions that the commission has, please feel free.
Thank you. Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. ORS has no questions for the witness.
All right, ma'am. Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
just a few questions. When I was in college and law school, there were several moving companies that would call a bunch of us to help unload. That was 100 years ago, so I know rules are different now. A couple things concern me. It seems that in reading the application, you're seeking or that you have or going to obtain minimum insurance.
If need, we will increase to $1 million insurance. Right now, we've got it $750,000.
Just seems to concern me that your cargo limit, 2,500, there are pieces of furniture that are worth as much or more than that could easily be damaged. I'm concerned about the cargo limit. Can you explain that?
Yes, we will be increasing that to $50,000.
Okay. The other mention that I don't see is workers' compensation with more than 4 employees. You're required in South Carolina to carry workers' compensation. Do you have a plan for that?
We will be. Right now we have a big project at the University of South Carolina. Everyone is under a 1099 at the current.
Okay, so as far as that,
But we will be, once we get if we get our license and all, we will be workers' comp, and we will be increasing our limitations on the cargo.
Okay. Being in Lancaster and Chesterfield, and I lived in Chesterfield County for several years, you're pretty much close to the North Carolina border. It seems a lot of as you mentioned, Indian Land is in North Carolina. It seems a lot of your potential business would be in North Carolina. Is any sort of plan or any sort of requirement for you across state lines, or are you looking at that business at all?
We are looking at that business. With my prior experience with Minuteman Movers, with the DOT, I can't remember what his name is, but he had told me we get a 150-mile radius around our office, our location. So I will double check that before we cross any type of borders, just to make sure that is legal. But in the future, if pertaining, we will possibly try to obtain a North Carolina license, because you're right, we are so close to the border.
Are you willing to make the requirement of workers' compensation part of this order, should the commission allow you to move forward?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Powers. Any other commissioner questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chair Belzer, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Matthews. Hope you're well this morning.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Matthews, I noticed that you filed a revised bill of lading. Can you tell me what was revised on that bill of lading?
Yes, ma'am. I had to change our credit card processing fee to 4% from 2%, and then one of our exclusions, I did not have firearms on that last word on the front page of our invoice, because we've got it in the. If you look at the back of our bill of lading,
Okay.
it was somewhere in the middle of it, but I had to make sure firearms was on the front and that exclusion part.
Anything else?
Oh, in the 24, we had hours wrong for the customer to respond to a damage or anything. I think we had put in there, I believe it's 48 hours.
Okay.
I had to change that from the backside.
That's exactly what I was keying on, because the original bill of lading had 90 days, and that's been changed to 48 hours. And I understand.
That has been changed, yes, ma'am.
And I know that there's 48 hours in the tariff to file a claim, but is that a reasonable time limit?
Yes, ma'am. My prior experience with it, we moved the stuff right then. Usually a customer knows pretty much right away, or we tell them for one, but two, gives them a couple of days to go through their stuff, and I'll be lenient with them. I just want it to be legal with it.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not going to hold them to it. If we did, then we'll.
and I am a bit hesitant to question, because I can't say that there aren't tariffs that already have that in there, but it just kind of struck me as I was going through things, and that might just be something that we need to look at in the future. But I did note that. In looking at your revised tariff, do you have a copy there with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I did note the 48 hours. Would you turn with me to page 4, please?
Sorry, hang on 1 second, please.
Application.
The revised tariff is what I'm looking at.
We're looking. Hang on 1 second.
That's my tariff.
Sorry.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, sir. It's section 1. It's got all your rates listed.
Correct.
Okay. Let's look at the last paragraph on that page, and specifically the next to the last sentence. Hourly rates are the same, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, in every season of the year. Is that correct? It just seems that when you have different hourly rates for different days, like Monday through Saturday and then Sunday, I'm not sure that you say 7 days a week in that sentence down there.
You're absolutely correct.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Not changed that up yet. I am so sorry.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I can't say that that's not in another tariff somewhere. It just kind of jumped out at me when I was reading through yours for some reason. So I just point that out as a helpful, so that there's not a not something that's contradictory in your tariff. That can make things difficult sometimes. And also, would you flip over to page, I'm looking at section 4 on the promotions.
Okay.
And you will offer a slight discount for military and senior citizens, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, and senior citizens that provide proper proof of same. Tell me what your definition of senior citizen is.
65 years or older.
Okay, just curious there. Thank you very much. I'd like to wish y'all luck in this endeavor. But thank you for appearing today. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, we would like to present, we would like to have the opportunity to an amended bill of lading, an amended tariff, and add this to the board.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
and I think Ms. Ms. Hammonds can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think that when the final order, when the order comes out, if the order comes out approving this, that the order requires the final tariff to be filed, before they can begin operations. So I think they would have that, ability. Is that not correct?
Yes,
Thank you.
Commissioner, that's correct.
So, Attorney Hyatt, that seems to address that issue. Are you satisfied with that answer?
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty. Any other commissioner questions?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Powers?
Having moved 10 times, the 48 hours concerns me. I've gone sometimes a week or so without really being able to unpack or check things. What sort of time limit would you be agreeable to? I think 48 hours is unreasonable.
We could change that, but you're right too, because a lot of times moving someone into storage, they don't have an opportunity to check their stuff as well. But what we have done in the past, like we move them in, if we move them out, still give them the 2 days. But maybe a week, we could change this to a week. I would think a week would be a sufficient time.
That sounds much better to me.
Okay.
Question for the applicant. Did something happen to make you move from a 90-day notice to a 48-hour notice? Did you have a bad experience in one of your moves?
No, sir. No, sir, we didn't. I just did not catch the wording on the back side of our bill of lading. I did not realize that was there. That's my fault.
Okay.
But
All right,
no,
just
we didn't
curious
have a
about
bad-
that, because it almost seems responsive, like maybe, 89 days later, someone called you and said, hey, you messed up my gun cabinet.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But that didn't happen, though. Nothing like that happened?
That did not happen. No, sir. No, it did not happen.
Well, tell me this, how do you plan, you may not have ever had a claim for damaged property, but let's just say you did. How would you handle that? What evidence or what proof would the customer need to show you in order for you to address that without too much back and forth or obstacles?
Right, absolutely. Per se, we did have a damaged dresser. Okay. Customer would contact me, or we would let them know if we saw the damage as we were moving the dresser or whatnot. The guys would then state it on our bill of lading. We have a comment block in the middle of our bill of lading for any damage or comments, good or bad. I would make arrangements with the customer to go out and inspect it myself. I would first attempt to repair the damage personally. If not, if I can't do it, then I will refer a furniture repair specialist to them. And if they still can't do it, we do have a block at 60 cents a pound on our bill of lading. Any damages, I would have, if the item weighed 200 pounds, it would get 60 cents a pound per pound on it. But I would at least try to repair the furniture and make it right with the customer. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yeah, it does. It sort of makes me circle back around to Commissioner Powers' question about the $2,500 policy limit for damaged cargo, because if you're moving my antique piano or my great-grandmother's singer sewing machine, I might not be too interested in you trying to repair it.
Okay, you're right. We could also, which I've never had anyone take out additional insurance, but we would offer that if there is something of extreme value that they would want covered.
You give them the opportunity.
I've never had. Absolutely. If they point out to me prior to the move that something is just extremely valuable, it may not weigh a lot, but it's extremely valuable, then we would give them the opportunity to take out additional insurance / the customer could put it on their homeowner's insurance as well.
I think that's a fairly good idea because most people don't really. They just trust you. They hire you. They trust you, and hope everything works out. And I'm sure that's probably how everything has worked out for you. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to do what you just said you do in those instances.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Powers.
I guess there should also be a waiver on some sort of form as well if they choose not to get additional insurance.
That's a good idea
Right.
too. Right. Yeah, when these folks know this kind of stuff up front, it just limits the amount of problems that you can have possibly on the back end.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. Yes, sir.
Especially considering if you're going to an area that doesn't have many moving companies.
Right.
Okay. Vice Chair Belzer.
Mr. Matthews, on the bill of lading, is that the standard bill of lading? Because I thought that there was a place for the shipper to sign on that excess insurance that if they declined it. Is there not a box or something that? Or is that?
I do not have a box for declining insurance. Do not. I can see. I may now coming and bring this to my attention. We probably need to add that in there. But I do have a box. If you look to the left upper middle, I do have a box with our clause of 60 cents per pound that the customer does have to sign off on.
Right. And but I thought if they declined that, and I could be thinking something from 20 years ago. That I was just thinking that there was something that the shipper could say that they declined it. Otherwise, they come back and say, well, you never offered it.
Right. Well, this box that they do sign up on is an automatic insurance coverage that all they get no matter what. So they are covered 60
For the
pounds
60,
per
okay.
tool.
Do you don't
Or
offer
no
any?
matter what.
You don't offer any excess coverage for any additional charge.
We
And it's-
do. Like I said, I do have a line on there for additional insurance.
Okay.
And they would have to give me a dollar value and
Okay.
what the say it's a hutch and some brake items that are extremely expensive. They would have to, prior to the move, I would need exact what they're wanting to cover with a dollar amount, and I would go to my insurance company and they would give me a price for them to pay before the move took place.
Okay.
How that actually works for us.
All right. I appreciate the explanation, and you're doing very well with your testimony. So don't get rattled by we got a lot of questions. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews, I come at this as a historian, so I looked at your dates a little bit, and I just want to kind of fill in some gaps. It looks like your bill of lading has a 2013 date on the bottom, and I wondered if that was intentional. And then it looked like you formed in 2016, and so just wanted to ask you to sort of fill in some gaps there with your evolution in addition to what you shared in your opening testimony.
I don't see the 2013, what you're talking about there. What is the 2013?
On the bottom of the tariff, it's just date proposed, and it may just be a fill kind of date.
It must be a filler date. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But you are correct. We did actually form the company in 2016, but we never used it. We left it in limbo. I was working with my family with Minuteman Movers. So, and I went off, actually right in there, I'd gone and worked for my dad a bit doing selling electrical products with helping Minuteman movers as well. So I'm kind of juggling both. That's my mom and my sister were with me on that. So we just kind of had my wife and I, we got married, and we just wanted to have a backup plan in case something ever happened. So we did form Modern Day Movers back in 2016. We were looking at possibly going on our own then, but just recently, December of this past year, 2019, we did kind of have not an eye to eye together. We had a little falling out. So that's why we are kind of we're going through this process on our own. So, but then we get COVID, so that kind of put a halt to the process. But that's basically where we are. We're just trying to get it going now, 2020, starting up, getting our household goods license so we can be out here on our own and helping the customers.
Great, thank you. And just to pick up a little bit on the questions before regarding insurance, and would any of that suggest that you might change your tariff to reflect what your maximum insurance is so that people know that?
Absolutely, we will. If we get the authority, I haven't changed it because we've been doing commercial. I haven't had a reason to change it yet. If we get the authority here, my limits will go. We'll probably change it to $1 million. $750,000 is pretty good for just residential. You get into more customer commercial. Sometimes they require $1 million, so we may just go ahead and move it to $1 million. But as far as the cargo goes, we will be up in that to $50,000.
And I really meant less about how much and more about would you share that information in the tariff? Perhaps it's there and I missed it.
We will amend that tariff as well.
Great. And finally, is storage in transit a fee or cost you need to plan on? I didn't see it in the tariff. If somebody needs to store something over the weekend and you can't deliver it, is that an extra cost or is that just a cost of doing business?
It's we charge an hour. We charge an extra hour for storage. I don't know if that's not in our tariff, is it? About overnight storage.
We didn't see it.
I think yeah. I will add that. It's yes. If we have to store anything on our truck, it would be an additional hour charge. I will change this. I will add this into our tariff as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions for this witness?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Irvin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I wonder, are you going to be offering a separate storage option? Do you have storage facility?
I do have some trailers at my office. I've got those basically to store the University of South Carolina's furniture. I would like to be able to use it for household goods, yes, if they need some storage available. And I guess I need to put some rates on my tariff with that, huh?
I would think so. If you're going to offer that as a separate option or add-on, you probably need to put the rates that are applicable, just so everybody knows up front that that's an extra charge, separate charge. You'd be willing to do that?
I will do that. Okay. Absolutely, yes, sir. Yes.
Back when you formed is it a limited liability corporation, LLC?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an attorney help you with that process?
Actually, we use LegalZoom.
Okay. Is that filed with the South Carolina Secretary of State's office?
Yes, sir, it is.
Good. And I think there's an annual fee to keep it active. Have you or your attorney checked to make sure it's still an active LLC?
I'm sure it's active, yes. Yes.
Okay, very good. And so the insurance that you're purchasing is in the name of the LLC?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. I wish you all the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, any more commissioner questions? Vice Chair Belzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything else for the witness, so can he stand down?
If there are no more questions for this witness, sir, you can stand down, or you can step down, excuse me, from the witness stand.
I just wanted to comment to Attorney Hyatt, if I could. I believe you asked if you would have time to file a revised tariff, and I mentioned that I think the order allows that to be done. But given that we've got a number of suggestions and that your witness has said that he will make some changes, could we go ahead and get the revised tariff before we decide on this matter, just so that we can read through it? Would that be a problem?
Sure. No, not a problem.
And so I think our court reporter would like a late filed exhibit, and we will reserve late filed exhibit number 4 for that revised or final tariff. Will that be okay? And you'll just send that in and file it with the e-filing like you did with the application, and copy ORS on it.
I will.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair Belzer. ORS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. ORS has no questions for the witness. As the commission is aware, ORS did file a letter in this matter on October 20th stating that the ORS has reviewed the application and the docket and conducted an inspection of the records and equipment, and based on that inspection and review, ORS is of the opinion the applicant will meet the requirements of fit, will, and enable. Also, as the commission is aware, ORS did not file testimony in this matter. However, we do have Thomas McGill of our office available if the commissioners have questions for him.
All right. Do you want to enter your letter of no objection into the record as a hearing exhibit?
Yes, Commissioner, that would be great. The next hearing exhibit for the letter dated October 20th.
All right. ORS letter dated October 20th will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Would Mr. McGill please take the stand, please?
Yeah. If you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. McGill, what are your thoughts on this applicant?
Well, I did a site visit back with the applicant on August the 28th, and at that point in time, we looked over the application, the tariff, and the bill of lading that he had at the time. Looked at the equipment that he had, the truck that he has, as well as any moving equipment. Then he had blankets, straps, dollies, a lift gate on the back of the truck, that kind of thing. And so we feel that he's very able to do the moving jobs that he's looking to do throughout the state. The requests or the suggestions that we had for him in the tariff and the bill of lading, he made all of those, including the change from the 90 days to the 48 hours. And the reason for that was in his initial tariff, he had listed 48 hours. And on the back of the terms and conditions, that's where it said 90 days. And so we wanted to make sure that those matched up well. And he did make several other changes in the application itself just to reflect the proper information.
All right, thank you, Mr. McGill. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. McGill? Commissioner Powers?
Mr. McGill, do you have any problem or see any problems or disagree with the recommendations this commission has made to the mover?
I don't disagree with any of the recommendations. I would say that through our review, the applicant did meet the minimum requirements that the regulations have for every mover throughout the state. But as far as suggesting that maybe different limits be raised or things like that be changed, I can't say that I disagree with them.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, if there are not any more questions for Mr. McGill, Mr. McGill, you can step down from the witness stand.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else from ORS?
Nothing from RS, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. So it seems that we have some items that need to be entered into the record. I'm going back to Attorney Hyatt. I understand that you're filing a late filed exhibit with a revised tariff or with some change that your client has agreed to make. But my lawyer, Attorney Dukes, wants to protect the record, which is her job. And we still need to enter proposed bill of lading and revised proposed tariff as a hearing exhibit. Do you wish to enter those into the record as the next hearing exhibit?
I do wish to enter those into the record. The proposed bill of lading and the proposed tariff that were submitted with our package, we would like to enter as exhibits 6 and 7.
Okay. So the proposed bill of lading will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 7, and the revised proposed tariff will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 8. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 and 7. 6 and 7. The proposed bill of lading will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 6, and the revised proposed tariff will be marked and entered into the record as hearing exhibit 7. All right. Well, sir, you made it through the hearing successfully. We don't make rulings from the bench on matters like this. We will review everything that you've submitted and that your lawyer will submit at a later date and make a decision later on down the road. All right, if there's nothing else, I'm going to hand this hearing over to Attorney Dukes.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, thank you.
I just want to do a recap, excuse me, of the exhibit list real fast. Number 1, I have the amended application that was filed October 16th, 2020. Number 2, I have the original application. Number 3, I have the shipper witness affidavits as one composite exhibit. Number 4, I have the late filed revised tariff. Number 5, I have the ORS letter regarding fit, willing, and able. And number 6, I have the proposed bill of lading that was filed September 29th, 2020. And number 7, I have the revised proposed tariff that was filed December 29th, 2020. Does that sound okay to all the parties? Is that what everyone has?
That's what I have.
Yes, that's what we have. Thank you.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
All right, Attorney Hyatt,
Yes.
we have some more work for you to do. I understand that, and I'll tell you this, I'm not this good on my own. I have some great folks that are pointing out some things to make sure that this hearing goes as smoothly as possible so we won't have any issues later on. And it was brought to my attention that in addition to the the late filed exhibit, that will be a revised tariff or a updated tariff, I think your client also plans to make changes to the bill of lading as well.
That's correct.
That's
We've
correct.
got some notes for the bill of lading as well.
Okay, so we need
Like
to,
um,
would you like to
add-
enter a late filed exhibit for updated bill of lading?
Yes.
All right, so a late file exhibit will be marked as updated bill of lading and entered into the record as hearing exhibit number 8. All right, so I want to, is there anything else, Attorney Dukes? All right, I want to thank my team for getting us through this smoothly to ensure that the record is in order. And we look forward to receiving those late filed exhibits.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you all. Good luck to you, and we look to hear from you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
This hearing is adjourned.